I'm just coming back or leaving an event that was comprised of a youth panel, and those young people did so well. Oh my goodness, I had to keep asking, are they in high school? They did so good. The person that was the moderator, he I want to use him for some events that we have coming up. Like, what is going on? These young people are doing some great things, and I'm just so proud of them. Y'all, this panel, they touched on so many different topics. It was actually 9 people on the panel, which typically is a lot. But in the beginning, they had 5 minutes to kind of state their case of what topic they wanted to cover. And then the moderator went back around and they each answered some follow-up questions, and he had great follow-up questions for them. And it was a lot of different topics, from mental health, women's issues, violence in the schools, inequities in the schools, being a Black man and mentorship, and just a lot of great topics. And I was just so proud of how they were able to expound on their topics. I see Joshua Gabriel's in the building, and Tuber Chat Connect and Grow. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you. Word up to you. How's everything, both of you? And Joshua, I hope you had a great day. Thank you for sharing this out. Tuber Chat Connect and Grow on Reddit. I appreciate that share out. The more the merrier. I love increasing my reach. I want more people to check it out, check me out, and I'm really happy. So thank you. Yeah, at first, I wasn't going to stay for the entire event. It was a very long event. It was from 6 to 8. As you can see, it's almost 8 o'clock now. They did good with their time, but it's been a long day. And when it's a long day like that, it becomes a little challenging to do something else. And this was definitely something else, but it was well worth it. It's always good to hear, how young people feel about things, their viewpoint of it. If we're going to have a better understanding of each other, and especially of the young people, they're not going anywhere. They're multiplying. They're our future. Then we really need to understand what they are thinking, how they feel, and how we can better support them and make this world a better place together. Not just us for us, not just them for them, but for all of us together. And that's what this event was all about. So I was really glad that I decided to stay and didn't just slip out like so many other people did. I mean, it was a full house for sure, but it was disheartening, to see people leave. Listen, we all have long days. We all have a lot going on. But I always feel like if I'm at the event, I'm going to commit 100%. Because I know when I have events, people have other things going on. They may have to pick up a child or an elder parent or just whatever. But I don't know. When people start picking up and leaving, I sometimes feel some kind of way. So I don't do what I wouldn't want someone else to do to me. And I wouldn't prefer them to leave if they didn't have to. Just because, it's been a long day. It's been a long day for everyone, even the people that were part of the panel. All those students, they were students, high school students. They have to get up at the crack of dawn tomorrow for school. But they're here now. This is, it's a long day for them. But I hope everyone had a great day. And I hope that you were treating yourself well. One of the young men, and I meant to write it out because it was well put. And, he said something to the effect of that, I hope that you were able to, be good to yourself today. I hope that, and he had mentioned that and said it to, I can't remember exactly verbatim what he said, but it was to that extent. We always are during a day where we're developing something, considering other people, but consider yourself throughout your day too. Take some pulse check moments. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you okay? Take those little breaks during the day. Stand up, get some water, go to someone's office, or just take a walk outside and have a little chit chat with God, with yourself, with friends, with colleagues, and just know that you're not in this alone. And I know a lot of people, especially if you're working from home, sometimes you may get lonely. I don't know. And if so, just, find someone else that might be working from home too, and that you can possibly meet. Maybe it could be someone that lives in your neighborhood or whatever. But Wow, there's a lot of messages that are held for review. That's very interesting. As you're coming in, I hope that you're finding some peace and joy and that you find this content uplifting and it's maybe having second thoughts on saying something that's contrary because that's not what this is all about. But I really just wanted to stop by and just say hi this evening and to share with you about the panel for young people. Whatever you're doing in your line of work, your business, your education, what have you, consider incorporating something that can also include young people. What are some things that maybe your business can do? I know what we're doing on my team. We've developed a program that hires students after they graduate from high school. We're going into our second cohort with this class of 2025, and any business can actually do that. You don't have to wait until a person is well beyond high school to consider them as a new hire. If you have positions that all is required is a high school diploma or a GED, then why not consider someone straight from high school? I see that JJ601 is here. Hello to you. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going good for you and that you are enjoying 2025 so far. Listen, aside from everything else that's going around, with this new year and things that is starting to shape up, shape out, twist around or whatever, all those things we can't control. But the things that you can control in your life, I hope that you are and that you're enjoying it and not letting these moments in our life right now to paralyze you and make you not do anything, to have you just complaining about it and not doing anything for yourself about it. It has been a while. I have been great. I have, and I hope you have been as well. I hope things are wonderful where you are, and with the things that you're doing. But yeah, so thank you for coming in here, Jason. And you must have been passing through, strolling through the YouTube streets and saw that I was live. So I appreciate you for stopping by. I truly do. I was talking with Carter's Eat today. It's so cool when you can really connect outside of YouTube with content creators. And she's also my soror. So we have, other things in common outside of content creation. And we both live, in the same state, same, kind of like the same area, not the same town per se, but not too far. And she's really encouraging to me and I really appreciate her and the time that she takes out because she's busy, living in a multi-generational household and just holding everything down, plus doing her content creations. I was telling her, listen, she edits her videos and does a phenomenal job. And with all these videos for Black History Month, I recognize and respect that. I'm like, girl, those take a lot of energy, thought, redoing. It's not for the faint at heart, for sure. Unfortunately, today I won't be putting out another Black History Month video today, but over the weekend I'm going to double up because I did miss 2 days this week and I really want to have at least one every day. That's just 28 pre-recorded videos, right? There's nothing to that. Listen, I did a live challenge going live every day for 90 days with Slasher Chick. If I can go live every day for 90 days, I should be able to do a pre-recorded video every day for 28 days that are maybe 2 to 15 minutes long, right? You would think, but it actually takes hours to put those 2 to 15-minute videos together for sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I think that's what's happening because I don't have a schedule on, when I'm going live. I said, let me just do these verticals. And that was a recommendation by Carter's Eat as well. She said, Sherri, you really need to try going live using the vertical and going on live via YouTube. Because in the past, I've gone live using StreamYard. Then after StreamYard increased their prices by so much, I changed to Restream. But those are not apps. You have to go to the website and just do all this, that, and the other. I like to just kind of hit the button and go. And so these past couple of weeks, that's what I've been doing. Typically, I go live in the morning around 8-ish. But then a couple of days I have gone live in the evening, and that's been faring well too. Just to kind of debrief the day, just kind of go over just how the day was, and just kind of shake it all out before I step into the house. Listen, I haven't left, my office yet. I'm not home yet, but when I go home, I don't really like to talk a lot because I talk so much during the day. And it's interesting how, my inner circle, my family, they don't really know exactly what I do. It's so crazy. When my children were a lot younger, and now they're all grown, but they really didn't know what I do. My husband doesn't really know what I do. They just kind of look at what I do as almost like a hobby. It's so weird. It's so crazy. Now if it was the business side of things, they understand that. But what I do in terms of like workforce development and career readiness, they don't have their whole minds around it. So I just listen to what they're talking about. They all have interesting things as well. Stephanie 57 Journey is in the building. How are you doing? Good to see you. How's everything? Have you been working out? Did you work out today? I was gonna go to the gym today, but I'm just gonna do my vibration plate, y'all. I'm telling you, when I put that thing on level 3, whoo, I don't know what it shakes up, but it shakes some things, and it like really it makes me sleep like a brick. It is crazy. I don't know if all vibration plates have different levels like that, because not only does it have the 1, 2, 3 levels, but within those levels you can increase the intensity. And I don't know what the intensity is on that level 3. I think I have it on the lowest, and that thing is something else. Oh my goodness. I'm glad that you worked out. That's so wonderful. And I'm hoping that for you, you're developing that new habit, which is sometimes hard to keep up with when you're working out. It's like any little thing can, pop up and make you say, you know what, I can't do that today. So like I have, and I need to not let that happen. So I commend you for sticking to it. Having stick to itness is what I call it, for sure. But today was very productive, y'all. I've been having some phenomenal meetings. And you ever have a really good meeting with a group of people and you just want to high five everyone? You just like, yo, that right there, we got some things done. I love walking away from a meeting with action steps and just feeling like we're moving closer to that goal. And most of the things that I do have so many moving pieces, and it definitely takes collaboration with many different types of people. And so when I have meetings and it's all I can see the picture, because sometimes in the beginning and sometimes even in the middle, you might say, oh, I don't know how this is going to turn out. But when you start to see it unfolds and kind of reveal how it's going to end up, you just are starting to feel real good about it. You have the right players in the right positions, because you could have some players, you could have a lot of players, but they may not all be playing in the right position. But so when you get the right players in the right position, it just makes things so much easier. And when you know that you can effectively delegate and you know that it's going to get done, that feels so good. So, we're in a great place with the things that we have going on, and I'm just really, really excited about it. And I see that they all are speaking. Thank you all for being here. And I hope that you are having a good Friday Eve, y'all. Look, we made it another week, and tomorrow is Friday. And I hope that you are wrapping things up. We have Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is so interesting for me because I don't think I really celebrated Valentine's Day until like around 20, probably about 2020. Let me see. My baby was born in 2002, so probably about 2004, 2005, y'all, because the business that my parents had, Valentine's Day was one of the high seasons. And when you own a business, you know what your high season is. I'm thinking about Carter's Eat, with their seasoning, probably during, Thanksgiving and Christmas is probably going to be their high season because people want to have good seasonings for their food, their soul food and everything, and food made with love. And also the seasoning is great for a gift. So I'm sure that that's a high season for them. So For my parents' business, Valentine's Day was a very high season and it was all hands on deck. Even when I went away to college, I came home for Valentine's to work. I brought friends home with me to work. Even after I got married, no matter where I lived in the country, I would fly back home for Valentine's Day to work. So I never had a real Valentine's Day. And luckily, my husband and people I dated prior to him, they understood that. They were very patient with it. They didn't have other Valentines now. Stop playing. And when I came home for Valentine's Day, even when my husband was playing, he came home too because it was the off season. As you can tell, Super Bowl was just last weekend. So we never, as a family, we never really had a real Valentine's Day like that because after working, we would be so exhausted. It would be all we could do to eat, much less go out and, be with your loved one. But we make it happen. And I think that's why to this day, you know, the traditional holidays, like your birthday, your anniversary, Valentine's Day, I never really like to celebrate it for that day. I always want and wanted and have had, a person, be it who I was dating or my husband, to just honor me throughout the year. It doesn't have to be on that special day. That's just a given. That's too easy. But I get it. A lot of people that they live for Valentine's Day. And listen, that is on a Friday. I know businesses that really focus on Valentine's Day, or that if that's a high season, this whole week has been bananas for them. I mean, it has, with deliveries, and people get so mad if they don't get the gift that they sent out, if the person doesn't get it on Valentine's Day, and not thinking that there's thousands of other people that want it too. So it's really interesting how, the holidays, people get caught up. And I'm like, don't get caught up during the holidays. Stay caught up all year. That's what I want. I want you to stay caught up. Don't get caught up. Stay caught up. And, getting those just because flowers, being told that you are loved all the time just because, not because it's Valentine's Day, not because it's your birthday or your anniversary. People get all guzzied up and all, da 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 for that 1, 2, or 3 times a year. But how about just periodically laced throughout and unexpectedly sometimes? That right there is special to me. That's what I think. But everyone has their preferences, and I get it. And sometimes it's just really about the bed that you were bred in and how you were raised and your beliefs and what you experienced. I experienced my father always making sure my mother had her most favorite flower, which was peonies, and, buying her the peonies bushes, and just, she had a beautiful garden in front of our home with beautiful peonies in front. And, just bringing her things, taking her on vacations on off times, when people weren't even thinking about vacations, and they going on cruises and stuff, and just growing up seeing that. And with my children seeing that too, just having that spontaneity in your life, it just makes you expectant of things all the time, not just sometime. I loved, especially when our children were young, and we could be driving around just having a good time. We would just love driving around. Sometimes we would drive around and we might think, you know what, let's go to Orlando. And we would go to Orlando and we wouldn't even have clothes. We would have to get stuff when we were there. And we would just buy season passes when we're there. Because let me tell you, when you go to Disney World, Universal, and all that, those day passes, they are a grip. And if you're a family of 5 or more or whatever, it could be a grip. But if you go like 2 or 3 times, and if you buy a season pass, you already paid for it. So if you're staying there a week or two, you might as well get a season pass, and then try to make sure that before the year is up, you go again. Just before the year is up, try to go again. We always got our money's worth, always. Because you know how when you're vacationing, and you may go to, like, especially when you have young kids and they need naps and all that, and they can't hang like that. So you might want to go back to your hotel and have a nap. And then you want to go back, and you may go back that night, or you may go back the next day, but you do want to go back, but you don't want to have to buy tickets again. But if you have season passes, you just be like, boom, boom, I'm in here. So that's what we used to do. So my kids have grown up, living very spontaneous lives. And I'm excited for my youngest daughter. She has a dear friend. And I said, what if he asks you to marry him? Like, Oh my goodness. I was her age when I met my husband. And she was like, "What? No, I'm not gonna get married. I'm not ready for that." I was like, "Oh, okay, good. Okay, okay." Because people are so different now. The young people, they are very different. I'm always shocked when I know young people that get married and they're in their early to mid 20s. And I'm like, wow, you really ready? You think so? You've seen all there was to see? I don't know. It's just interesting. So, um, they making their money. Yeah. Young people, they want to make their money. I know my daughter and her boyfriend, they have a long distance relationship. I mean, right now it's not too far, too bad, but they don't see each other as often. And then when she moves, it's going to be further, but then he's going to be moving even further. And I was like, what you going to do? And, she still goes out around here, and I'll ask her, did you see any young men or whatever? She'd be like, Mom, I got a boyfriend. I'm like, and, he's far away and who knows? But it's just really interesting how people handle their relationships today. So I hope everyone, not only your relationship that you're handling well, but handle yourself. Know that you deserve the best. I was thinking about that the other morning when I was walking, and a lot of people are not expectant enough. You should have high levels of expectations in your life. You should be expecting people to treat you well because you treat yourself well. People are going to treat you how you treat yourself. So, the expectation should be that, yeah, they're going to be nice and kind to me. People are going to be supportive because I'm supportive, and just expect the best out of life. When you are setting out and you have your goals, you want to achieve something in your life, be it saving money, purchasing a home, a car, going on a vacation, whatever the case may be, starting a business, getting a great relationship, expect it. But not only expect it, but determine exactly what it's going to be and dare to dream. So many people dream so small. It's almost like they take the baby step of the goal and that's what they focus on, like, no, I just take a little bit. If I could just get a little bit of that, what? I want the whole thing, because if you want the whole thing, if you expect it to be this big thing, you will, if you get the smaller pieces at first and gradually it'll develop and grow. And next thing you know, you'll have the whole pie. You're like, wow, I got the whole thing. That's what's up. Oh my goodness. Just like, even with like money, if you feel like you're worth more than what you're getting, what is that more? How much more are you worth? Are you worth just a few dollars more? Are you worth a lot more? Like, think of the biggest number and let that be your target. And you'll exceed the little bit that you thought that you initially wanted, So always think bigger. I'm always surprised when I ask people, what's your number? I have my number. I've met and exceeded my number many times. I've exceeded it right now. And it's crazy how it can happen like that, because I remember going to Vegas after my daughter graduated, my middle daughter, my center child, after she graduated college. We went to Vegas. I was actually speaking at a conference there, a national conference for workforce development professionals. And it was a really, really well attended conference. Oh my goodness. But at any rate, and it was interesting because the whole conference is like a week long or whatever, and people are there from all over the world. It really was the world because it's a national workforce development professionals, but there's people, from other countries that wanted to know like how we're doing things. There were people from other countries that were also speakers, and they had a lot of speakers and they had different rooms for us. And when I walked to the room that I was speaking at, they had my name and my topic there, and it was just really cool. But I remember when I spoke and I told my daughter, I was like, I want you to come and hear the presentation. And she did. And literally, she graduated on Saturday and we flew out on Sunday. And I think it was Tuesday when I had my presentation. So I did the presentation. It was well received. And at the end, I said, I dedicate this to my daughter who just graduated from college. And this is her first time seeing me, speaking in an arena like this. And, she was just kind of like, everybody was clapping for her, congratulating her. But I remember after that, I told her, I said, I'm going to be making boom boom. I gave her the number. And she was like, "Okay, let me tell you, my expectations, no matter how great or small they are, when I say them, especially to my family, they be like, uh-huh, okay." Like, not, "Yeah, right." They be like, "Yeah, we know." Like, "Yeah, that's gonna happen." And I want to say 2 or 3 weeks later, that number I told her, it was more than that. And that's how you have to posture yourself. First of all, you have to understand what you're worth. A lot of people don't realize they play themselves short. Sometimes when people give me that number, I'm like, that's it? Like, no, you can get so much more. It's money out here for real, And so know what your number is and write it down, make it plain. I always say that. People, they just keep it in their head. They think I'm playing when I say that. No, write it down. Look around in your industry, in your position, your occupation. What's the going rate? What are people making that is doing exactly what you're doing? That's what you want. That's what you want. You have to do research, and you have to know your field. You have to know your game. This is like a game. You have to know it. That's the one thing I learned, from my husband. Listen, he had his position. He knew how much every starter in his position made. So when he had the opportunity, he played for 10 years, 7 years he started. The first 3, he was doing his research. And he never stopped doing his research. You can never stop doing your research. No matter how much you get, you got to know there's more out there. And I remember there was a player, and he didn't play the same exact position, but they played on the same, they both played on offense. And this man, he got a really good contract. Oh my goodness, he got a really good contract. And some people will play a hating, like, "Yo, what did you get that for?" Blah blah blah. And he went to an HBCU, and he came from a losing team. I mean, I don't really look at NFL teams as losers because they all have professionals. Sometimes, the Sundays just don't work out for everybody. Sundays just don't work out for everybody. But he came to the team that my husband was playing on at the time, and he got a huge contract, a huge contract. And when he got that contract, it gave my husband hope, like, yo, there's money out here. I'm going to get it. He wrote down what his number was, like, looked around, and he got it that next year. That's how you got to do. You got to know. And I remember people leave things up to other people so much. Oh my goodness. Don't leave your destiny in other people's hands. I don't care if you paying them. You still have to know what's for you, because people that you pay and they're representing you, they may be representing other people. They may be busy. They may just do the bare minimum for you, which to some will be perfect, will be okay. But if you know that you are deserving of everything, if your expectations are high for you, you have to intervene as well, So yeah, you may have an agent, you may have a manager, you may have a spokesperson, you may have someone that is getting you whatever speaking engagements or whatever. But God, if he puts it into you and that's your talent, that's you all day, no one really can, like, produce exactly what you need them to. I mean, they could do all right, especially if you give them the blueprint. You have to be an active participant in your next steps. So I remember, we were after his like, let me see, maybe his 3rd or 4th year, maybe like his 4th year, I want to say, we were interviewing agents, new agents, and I learned so much, just the negotiation of the interview process, all of that. What can you do for me? Who do you know? How are you getting into these meetings? Who can you call right now? Can you call this team by tomorrow and ask them what they think of me? He was asking those types of questions, and it was really interesting to see and hear, and seeing the agents kind of scramble around. And we really wanted to go with a Black agent, we really did. But sometimes you might be in a pivotal time in your career when it can't even be about the color. It has to be about the experience. It has to be about the social capital. It has to be about the network. And whoever it is, Black, Asian, Spanish, white, Puerto Rico, whatever they are, whoever can get it, that's who gets it. And that's where we were with that. We were thinking, like, man, especially this one guy, we really liked him, but it was like, we got to have somebody that's already connected. Like we can't take that chance, because there's certain things in your life, most things, you got to look at most things that you do in your life as, I got to make this count. This shot right here got to go in. I don't have time to play. This might be the last one. This might be the last shot of the game. I got to make sure it goes in, because whatever I get from this, it gotta last me forever. So I don't have time to play. I can't bank on that I'm young right now, and I'm have all these years, because it's not like that. It could be here today, going tomorrow. And that's with anything. I don't care if you play in a sport, if you work in business, if you work in construction, if you work behind the desk of an office. I don't care. Anything could happen, and that could be your last day. And it don't have to be your last day of life. It could be your last day of being able to do anything for yourself, because that's just how life is. It's fleeting. I'm heading home, and God willing, I get there, okay. But I'm just saying, that's just how life is. So you got to make sure that everything you touch turns over and reproduce, and blossoms and just do well. So we went with this one agent, and y'all, he was good. And as good as he was, and he had some real big players too. And he was real nice, and nice to me. I loved when people were nice to me too, because I'm like, y'all don't even get it. Like, it, anyway. So you don't even get it. Just Teresa is here. How are you? And Patrick Sargent, I appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Just Teresa, I'm so happy to see you back on YouTube. I really am. I miss you. Wow, that was like back in the day, it feels like, during COVID, when, you were really out here. And I hope that you're coming back, and, your comeback is going to be even greater. So let me tell you, as good as his agent was, loving myself. How are you? Great to see you. I hope your day was great. I saw you this morning. Hope your day was great. So listen, as good as his agent was, when I tell you the grind, the self-representation, what? It was so real, and it just, I may not have film on my work like my husband had. I remember remember NFL Films? That was like the big thing back in the day. Now I don't know who it is. Everybody got a camera out now, but so there was there was this father and son. Did y'all know about NFL Films? Have you put a 6 in the chat if you've ever heard of NFL Films before? Put a 6 in the chat. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this, that, and the other. This is car chat and all that. Loving myself. Listen, I'm just talking. It is, I'm just talking. Albert Miranda, you're good. I'm glad to see that you're good. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you for being here, Albert. Thank you so much. So, I see you. Yep. Hey, how are you? And you're saying you're good. Great. I'm glad. So, listen. NFL Films. If you've ever heard of NFL Films, please. Okay, so loving myself, put a 6 in the chat. Thank you. Put a 6 in the chat. Put a 6 in the comment if you're watching this on replay. If you're watching this on replay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So NFL Films started, this father, I think his son did play in college, I'm not sure, but he used to film his son and, playing sports and everything, football in particular. And then they developed this business, and it's called NFL Films. And they would film NFL games, and I think they would do interviews, and they really grew into this big business. They would be able to film positions, plays. They would get different angles that just people weren't capturing those angles before. And NFL Films had films on everybody. Like, you would think, if each team has 11 players on the field at once, that's 22 players, right? You would think they had 22 cameras and they was just focused on each player. Like, that's the type of film that they were able to pull. because my husband was able to say, I want film of me from this game, that game, that game, and this game, and put it into like a compilation of sorts to show like some of his highlights. He basically created a highlight film, and that's outside of his agent. And he gave it to his agent, like, give this to this team, that team, boom, boom. Yeah, you know, you pay your agent, but sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands when you know your true worth, and you just don't want to leave anything by chance. You don't. Mm-mm. And I respected that so much. It's just like, you know, I may have representation for a lot of the things that I do, but I have a portfolio that I absolutely hand out, you know, to whoever's representing me. Like, this is my stuff. Yeah, they could put it together, but I have it. Like, I'm not going to take a chance and just assume that they're going to put it together or whatever, even though people say, well, I paid them. And then people get mad. I paid them all that money and they didn't do anything. Well, what did you do? Because you're paying them to be your partner in this. So either you're telling them what you need specifically, or you're giving them the blueprint to what you need because you've already started crafting it. You know, when you're doing something great, you're doing it great because God put it in you. And if He put it in you, He also has given you the blueprint to complete it, to accomplish it. And if you expect someone else that's representing you that also may be representing other people, because if that's their business, if they're consultants or you know, basically consultants or managers or agents, they are gonna have other people. That's their business. You can't expect them to just have you. So it's not that, you know, you're doing their work for them. You're just making your stating your case even that much stronger. You're making, you know, your stance even that much better. And you hear so many people that love to blame other people for what they don't have, what was not given to them, was not, and I should say, quote unquote, given to them, you know, of things that, you know, maybe they were shortcomings of, and they get so mad and frustrated and angry, and they just can't even move forward. They just want to give up, and they just turn away. And it's like, but what did you do? Oh, okay. Hmm. What did you do? So whenever things are not really going your way, for whatever reason, ask yourself, what did you do? When I have challenges with people, which is not often, it's not, but when I do, when I find myself having a conversation and it's going in a circle, like, you know, every time I circle back to the same thing, saying it, you know, I stop after a while and I'd be like, hold on, it's me. It gotta be me. You can't always think it's the other person. Sometimes it's you. So what are you going to do? How are you going to let yourself stand out? How are you going to highlight your value? Who are you going to talk to? How are you going to advocate for yourself? And it's not always with words. Sometimes it's with action. I remember a long time ago, someone said, oh, you know, dress for your next position. Carry yourself as if. If you were to carry yourself as if, what is that? What is it? There's a lot of people that I coach that, you know, want to be elevated in their position. They want to be promoted. They feel like they deserve it. They get mad when they get overlooked. You know what I ask? If you got that position, what would you do? Y'all, and some of the things they say be bugging me out. Like, what? Because they really hadn't thought that far. What would you do? If you got the money you want, that you feel like you deserve, what would you do with it? If your business hit like you know it should, what would you do? If you were invited to speak and you needed to speak on different topics for a month, what would you talk about? Listen, I used to be on this team of trainers, and they used to call me the draft queen because I had everything in draft. Some things you have to put in draft. Every place ain't ready for your stuff. I would just think about stuff and I would just put it in a draft. I would craft it up and I would watermark it draft, and I would just put it in my, computer file, like, yeah. And whenever I was called, I was so ready it would be unbelievable. People think I work so fast. No, I don't work fast. I have everything in a draft. All I gotta do is take the watermark off, maybe update it a little bit, and I'm done. Isn't it amazing how sometimes you could be in a situation and you could be like, man, I thought about that before. You know what? I had that idea. Man, I should have did that. Whenever you have an idea, put it in a draft. Whenever you have an idea, put it in a draft and finalize it if it's the appropriate time, and not just the appropriate time, but the appropriate place. You can't put everything that you have in a draft. You can't finalize everything for every place that you are in your life. Some places aren't ready. Some places won't appreciate it. Some places won't understand it. Some places just ain't ready. But you have your draft. Make sure you date your draft. I always put a footer on my drafts that has my name and the date. Because I may talk about it to somebody. Don't let them slip up and try to treat it like it's their own. Don't do that. We're not doing that, are we? And so loving myself is saying, yes, facts. People call it poor man's padded, meaning if I write it and I'll mail it to myself and do not open it. Oh yeah, that's the patent. People do that. People, and that's a way you could do that. That holds up. It does. If you have an idea and you write it down, you date it, you put it in an envelope, put your address on it, put your return address on it, put a stamp on it, take it to the post office, and mail it to yourself so it's postmarked, and do not open it until you know you have to. And that is like, they call that the poor man's patent. Because all you got to prove is that, yo, I had this idea. They heard me talk about it, and they took it, because there's so many people that hear. But the thing is, I don't even mind sometimes, because I feel like this. I may be able to tell you a lot of how to do it, but I have a secret sauce. You have a secret sauce. If God brought it to you, he knew that that was for you and that you would be capable to execute it exceptionally well. And so the secret sauce is you. So you may be able to give someone the blueprint, but they don't have you. It's something about you that makes it that much more special. It's something about you that makes it spectacular. It's something about you that makes it extraordinary. It's something about you. So you can't get bent out of shape too much if people take what you shared with them or whatever. I've had a couple of people, and it's funny because I'm like, wow, but you missed that part. You missed that part. You missed that part. Okay. And it doesn't prosper. If someone steals something from you, typically it'll be one and done. They can't even keep up with it because it wasn't for them. And a lot of things that come to you will sound like a great idea to other people. It will. But if it didn't come, they need to just chill, sit back, and let these things come to them. Not saying that you can't share ideas. You absolutely can. What? Are you mad? As a marketing coach, I was a marketing coach before I was a career coach. I help businesses market themselves. I help nonprofits market themselves. I remember that's how I started with it, because so many people would come to me and ask me about business and everything. And my husband was like, yo, that's a business. People coming to you. You need to be charging. You need to get your LLC together, blah, blah, blah. And I did. And, and I always have like these ideas. I just keep thinking. Sometimes my head, I feel like, why do I get these ideas? But how you going to act? How you going to question God? So I give it to them, and they either implement it or they don't. And all I know is that implementation is not one and done. Implementation is slow and steady. Implementation takes time. It's like you have to let it marinate. You have to massage it. You have to like live with it. It has to become part of you. So even if someone gives you an idea, you have to make it your own. You still have to make it your own, but you still have to make it. That's the thing. No, I can't cook. I can't. I eat other people's food, but I don't eat their food with the expectations that I'm gonna make it. And if I do, it's definitely not gonna taste like theirs. Definitely not. I can't cook, y'all. That's so funny. But I know how to eat. I know how to eat. Wellness with Frugal Mama. Hello to you. How are you doing today? I saw you this morning and now I'm seeing you this evening. Thanks for stopping through. I appreciate it. So always, be secure in knowing that what comes to you is for you. If God brought you to it, he'll bring you through it. And all you got to do is just keep going. And your expectations you can't put a date on it. Because God will give it to you in his time. And his time is always on time. It's always the right time. So he just wants to make sure that you have stick-to-itness, that you are still believing and have faith that he is going to come through for you. If you have it and you're like, okay, God got me, and you just keep saying that, but you're not doing anything, like you're not moving forward, you just sitting down like, God got this. What? He got to see you doing something. You can't just sit down. You can't be disgruntled waiting for him, mad. Who you mad at? Y'all, and I know, life has ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys for sure. But when you are in those valleys, you need to be thankful and grateful as if you were on those peaks. Thankful for the opportunity to learn something new. Thankful that God knew that you would be strong enough to get through that valley. Thankful that you are going to be able to gain new skills from being in that valley. Thankful that you're going through that test and you will have a testimony when you come out, because you have to come out. You do. And you will. But you have to believe it and not be disgruntled about it, not hate, not stomp your feet and just be like, woe is me, why me? You have to start asking yourself, why not me? I'm bad to the bone. Hold on. There's something greater in this. Hold on, let me figure this out. What's really going on? There's some hard moments in life. Everybody's hard moments don't look the same. Some people, they equate finances with the hard life. There's other things that could be hard in life other than money. And some might not think that, but it can be. So everyone has a journey. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a test. It's a matter of how you flip it and how you, what your expectations are around it, And if you feel like, why do I keep spiraling down and not spiraling up? What is your focus on? What are you focusing on? Because we are all God's children. He wants the best for us. God takes care of his kids. And even if he's not taking care of you right now the way you think you should be taken care of, he is. He is. So be thankful for it. Just say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God, for all that you have done. Thank you for the good. Thank you for the bad. Thank you for believing in me to keep me here. Because he didn't have to. I'm 55, y'all. I'm double nickel up in here. I have a lot of friends that are forever 21. That are forever 16. That are forever 25, 32, 40, 45, 50, 60. And that's it. That's where they stop. That's where their life stops. So the fact that you are here, there's a reason. And every day, you should make it one of your goals to find out what that reason is. Why am I here? You are here to shed light to others, to let them know they can get through it too, because you did. You are here to take care of yourself and fulfill your wildest dreams. You are here because of your ancestors that survived the Middle Passage, whatever that passage was. It doesn't have to be from Africa. It could be from Ireland. It could be from Italy. It could be from Jamaica. It could be from Trinidad. They had to get here. They had to get somewhere. And that's why you're here. And when I say here, it don't always have to be America, because people watch this channel all over the world. And I thank you and welcome. Yeah. So don't take any day for granted. It's not even worth it. Don't ask why. Why not? If that's the question. Find at least 3 things every day that you are grateful for. And it has to be more than just you woke up. That's too obvious. God laces things throughout your day that you need to recognize and see the gratefulness in that every day. Trying to tell you. All right. All right. Good night, loving myself. I hope you have a good night. Thank you. You have a blessed night for sure. All right. I'll see you in the morning. I will see you in the morning. I'm excited for tomorrow. I hope you are too. And you in the back and in the front and in the middle. I hope you all are excited for tomorrow. God willing, it will come. All right, everyone. I just wanted to stop by and see how your day was. And I pray that it was well. You know, if you're in my inner circle, know that I keep you in my prayers. I do. I do. I know some really good people, y'all. I'm very fortunate. That's wealth right there. I know some really, really good people. I know some people that have gone through some things and they are here by the grace of God. Mm, mm, mm. We do not know what tomorrow will bring. So we got to, do our best each and every day so that at the end of the day, we can be told by whomever you call God, well done. Well done. Well done. Good evening, poet. Great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, everyone. I hope you all have a great evening. And I will see those of you that come to my lives in the morning. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm enjoying these conversations with you. Thank you for letting me put it all out there on the table. Thank you so much. And I hope that you found a word or two of encouragement. And if you're watching this on replay, or if sometimes things just kind of continuously resonate with you, you let it marinate, and then you start having these aha moments like, I heard Coach Sherri say that, feel free to come back to the video and leave me a comment. And once it's uploaded and everything, I don't mind. I love continuing the conversation down in the comment section. I do. But thank you. And remember, listen, practice every day. Practice so hard, y'all. Practice so that when you do get that opportunity, you will always, always play to win. I am Coach Sherri.